When you have question, then just unmute yourself and talk. And otherwise, I will mute you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to CS 472. Okay, come in. Grab a seat. Web programming. And today I'm going to introduce the course, okay? And we will check the attendance, the first 3 days I have to do. Then we will go over the first today's lecture, which is HTML. Now let's take a look at the course overview. For people, probably you already look at yesterday. Today we'll just introduce HTML basic. We cannot cover everything like all the tags in HTML. We just cover the most frequently used, and for others you may learn by yourself. And we have 2 days on CSS. The first Tuesday gonna be very simple, like how to add a color, how to add a background color, increase the font size, those. And on Wednesday we are going to introduce a page layout. There are 2 ways to do page layout. One is use position with floating, and the latest one we're going to learn is called Flexbox and Grid box, grid layout. Which is similar. People probably use like a Bootstrap, like it has a grid system, okay, and it's already added in HTML5 several years ago. So after that, we are done all the front, kind of like we can say front side, like HTML, CSS, HTML for the content, CSS for the layout. On Thursday, it actually have 2 parts. I forgot to list another. We are going to have HTML forms. Okay. After forms, we're gonna learn another thing called a regular expression. And the regular expression is a language independent. It can be used in the form, which has the pattern. You can add the regular expression to ask a browser to verify the user's inputs. We can also use in JavaScript or Java, any language. Okay, so and for the regular expression, we cover a little, quite a lot, but not everything. Okay. Then we are going to the world of JavaScript. Okay, so people want to do JavaScript. It's a good fundamental course for you guys to take. We basically kind of like have 5 days on JavaScript. Anyone speak? No? Okay. Like JavaScript actually is even though we know Java, we can compare, but JavaScript syntax, everything is kind of like very flexible and different from Java, okay? And we will go very deep on JavaScript, so it's actually a little bit difficult. Okay. So Friday is gonna be easy for you. Just learn the JavaScript, how to define variables, how to define function, how to define methods, those, and learn quite a lot of data structure, like array, okay? And there's no array list or linked list in JavaScript. Everything is array. They do have map and a set, okay? And Saturday is a very important lecture. We are going to take a look at how JavaScript engine are going to execute our JavaScript code. And we'll talk about execution context, what others are, lexical environment, those. And after you finish this course, you are going to know very deeply on how JavaScript execute or parse your code. And there's another important thing probably you guys already learned in Java when you take a look, when you study about Lambda, and you also met like a closure. Closure in JavaScript is a little bit different from Java's. You will see it do have free variables. You will see, you can compare by yourself. Okay. We have 2 days on execution context because this lecture is a little bit long, and we have so many examples. So I tend to spend 2 days on that. Okay, and Now, again, it's gonna be another difficult topic in JavaScript, which is this keyword. Okay. It's very difficult and complicated in JavaScript. And unfortunately, if you guys in the future want to take a MWA course or WA gonna have a React, right? And MWA gonna have MWA fine, okay, WA React. React depends on the professor teacher, okay? If they directly introduce the hooks, then there's no need to understand this keyword well. But if the professor start from without using the hooks, then you must understand this keyword well. Otherwise, you're gonna have problems, okay? So this keyword will explain so many different scenarios in JavaScript, what it refer to, because in Java, this will always refer to the object, right? But JavaScript is very different, okay? We will see. And it's gonna be have a question in the exam. Oh, okay, welcome. Next one. We will have another 2 days about JavaScript inheritance, because nowadays JavaScript can use to build very large applications. Suppose you go to Angular, okay, or React is a little bit not very it's very flexible. You can choose use or not, but in Angular probably you have to define lots of classes. Anyway, we will, on Wednesday, we are going to introduce object literal, because there are 2 ways to create a JavaScript object, 3 ways. We will introduce the traditional 2 ways. One is object literal. The other one is called a function constructor. Some people will call construct function, which we define function, and that function can be a constructor. You can use to define, make a object, okay? And then we are going to use Thursday to cover the latest way, which is class. When you see the class, gonna be similar to Java, but the behind thing, they are different, because JavaScript inheritance is a prototype inheritance, which is different from Java's. We use kind of like a template. Okay, it's using prototype. It's also a part of a design pattern. It's kind of a prototype design pattern, if you guys heard about it before. Anyway, in the midterm exam, we're gonna cover most quite a lot of stuff, okay, before the midterm exam. And the main thing you guys need to focus is on the JavaScript part, because eventually when you go to your job, you won't spend lots of time on HTML, CSS, unless you do a designer job, right? And otherwise, you probably need to, especially you want to take a React Angular course, okay, and the Node. We're going to have midterm exam on Friday, gonna be in Derby Hall. And after that, we are going to learn the server side, okay? Because JavaScript can do client side and can do server side. And before midterm exam, JavaScript is the client side. And after that, we'll learn about a server side, which is use a Node to build a server side. And we have 3 days, basically 3 days on the Node. And then after we cover the Node, we will talk about a RESTful application using Node to build, okay? And then we are going to, because our course is very tight, so we won't have lots of time to cover your DOM. Anyway, in the future, you want to use DOM, okay? There's only one API, probably you will use DOM in React. We will talk about it, get element by ID. And so we will have a very short lesson on the DOM events. And then after that, we're gonna connect the rest of your server side, which is Node.js, with our client side, okay? And that's because we have to connect each other. So on our front side, we have to make a request to our server side. That's why we have to use fetch. And because we need to learn fetch, and fetch will return promise and async or async await. So we have to introduce the asynchronous part of JavaScript, and then we'll learn fetch. Fetch will make a request to our server side, okay? And eventually we will learn how to build a single page application, use the DOM and with fetch. So after the midterm exam, basically is a Node, and the other 2 parts is the asynchronous part about JavaScript. Okay, and if you guys go to MWA will cover Node again, kind of like go a little bit deeper on the Node. And here we just kind of like preparation. Okay. If you take a WAA course, WAA we're gonna use Spring Boot to replace Node to do the server side, and the front will use React. Okay, I'm not quite sure about how EA and software architecture doing nowadays, but basically the two like a WA and MWA is quite connected to this course. WA not that much, but if you have no JavaScript experience and want to go to WA, probably React part is a little bit difficult. And we're going to have a project, and a project that will have a full stack project. Okay, I haven't decided. I have some project. The project is gonna be a group project, probably three to four people as one. You can also do by yourself. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. Maximum probably 3 or 4. And for the project, you are going to use Node to build a server side, and you're gonna use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and this part to build, and DOM to build a client side. So you have a full stack client and server side. Okay, we'll see. And we have a final exam. Any question you guys have so far? Yeah.
Can we have the final exam on Monday after 4 weeks?
I feel it's better to put it on Thursday. The reason is in the final exam, you're going to have a program question. So after you do the project, it's going to help you to prepare for the program question. Yeah. Okay. So that's why I moved here. And unfortunately, I cannot change because before the course start, right, we have to schedule for the exam location, and it's already been scheduled. So I cannot change it. Sorry. But that's a good question. Okay, next time I probably ask you guys first. Okay, any other question?
Midterm.
Yeah.
Said by midterm will be, so will midterm be based on JavaScript only?
You're gonna have a few questions on HTML and CSS, a few, not a lot, and one in here. Okay, probably one slide, one question. Yeah, midterm probably this one has one question, this two has one question, this one has one question, and all the remaining gonna become the question on the JavaScript part. Okay, I will tell you, don't worry, I'll tell you what kind of question, not exactly question, I'll tell you what type of the question, okay? And I'll give you some practice questions. So, so far you just follow, you know, study every day, okay? If no question, let's move on. If you want to buy the book, you are welcome, okay? But you know, as a developer, there's no need. So the first 3 days, right? These 3 days, the slides is based on this book called the Web Programming Step by Step, 2nd edition. This is a great book about talking about HTML, CSS, but a JavaScript part. I read the book a long time ago. They are using something related to jQuery, but called the prototype JavaScript. We are no longer use, you know, jQuery, those libraries. We use the frameworks. Okay, so if interesting, you can take a very thick book like this thick and expensive. So if you don't want to buy, it's fine. Just read the slides. Okay, and for the JavaScript part, there's really has so many books out there, but the slides we kind of like combine lots of content from different books. So if interesting, this one has a little bit like, but it uses jQuery, so you don't need to buy. And if you want to see another, you can take a look at JavaScript. Definitely this one, master words, most used programming language. This one, okay. Otherwise, just read the slides. Slides have everything, okay. And for the Node, you can read this book called Node.js Action. I forgot the edition now. Normally, the book's gonna be, you know, cannot keep update as the APIs. The API like kind of like a half an year. It's gonna update, right? The books, just read the official document, okay. And we in the class we cannot cover all the APIs. We will cover the most often used ones, okay. And for others, we can take a look at learn API by ourselves. For the class attendance, I will check for the first 3 days, and after that, I will silently check your attendance, okay. I tend to every day start a class at 10 in the morning. Let me see if I have. Oh, no help. And most of the time, I'm going to stop the class in the morning, gonna be 12 p.m. Then we'll do meditation at 50 minutes, right? Then we go for lunch. If we have only 1 or 2 slides left, I probably will finish. But if we have quite a lot, I will leave to the afternoon to finish, okay? I don't want to go over the class to 12:30. It's gonna be crowded in Annapurna, right? We'll come back, okay? So if you don't like, then you can talk with me about like a lecture in the afternoon, because we do receive complaint about a lecture in the afternoon. But if I have 1 or 2 slides, I will finish. But if not, too many, okay? I don't want to rush to finish in the morning, okay? So that's it. And this is our how we give you grades. Okay, so attendance, I don't check it, but I prefer everyone to be here on time. Okay, because I'm going to start a class on time. I won't wait for you. Okay. Midterm is 40, final is 40, labs is 10%, project is 10%. Okay, and the grading is kind of like a US standard, like this course is not a prerequisite for any course, right? Which one? MWA? EA has so many. EA database is also EA. Software engineering is EA. Okay. WA is not. I think they are trying to remove that. MWA probably is better. Okay. It's still, because I heard discussion and they say they're gonna remove this one from the prerequisite of WA, but it's good because WA has a React. Okay, probably you're gonna you can choose my WA in the future. I'm going to teach in October. Anyway, if you like prepare well, understand well, and whenever you have questions, just ask me. You won't have any problem on this course. Okay, I won't intentionally say I have to fail some students. No, that's not my intention. I want everyone to get an A, okay? And eventually I can present your award on the Outstanding Student Award in Adobe Hall, okay? All others, what's the SCI. And whenever you have question, you can send me messages on Teams. Okay, so I can see from my phone. Emails probably I cannot. I want to check very frequently. Do you guys know my name? Oh, this is my name. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is my name, and the people here probably call me Tina. Okay. Okay. Now let me take a look at everyone's. Okay. I may read your name wrong, but you can correct me or give me a short name. Okay, nickname. So, wow, it's all so long. That means they have so many generations, right? Maha, right? Maha, this one. Maha, okay. Later on, you can grab this one, okay? But now, Dan, okay, nice to meet you guys. Kakidan, okay. Nahom, okay. Nahom, I met this name before, okay. Sorry, she was with me last vlog. I couldn't pronounce. Okay, okay. Sorry. Ting. Okay, I know. This one, I think from Mongolia. Dam Ding Nashira Dam.
Yeah, just call me Dan.
Oh, damn. Okay, damn. That's better. So long. Okay. Miss Gung. Miss Gung. Okay. Nice to meet you guys. Amrit. Okay, Amrit. Belly tea. It's called a belly tea.
Online.
That's good. Okay. Xian Hong Cai. Yeah. That's Chinese name, okay? But I don't know the character. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, not here. Is he here now? Muhammad. Okay. Mahmoud. Okay. Probably not. I'll wait for a little bit. Okay. Do I pronounce this T? Scott. Sokit.
You can call me Toshi.
Toshi. Okay. Toshi. Toshi. Do you know how I will remember your name? There's a brand called Toshiba.
No?
Oh, okay. Toshi. Okay. Sorry. You have to link to something to picture, right? Okay. Jiram. It's called Jiram. Jiram.
Yeah. You can call me
G. Oh, okay. Okay. Miskana. Miskana. Okay. Miskana. Okay. Miskana. Sirach. Sirach. Okay. Thank you. Do I pronounce this one? Oh, this one. Su or Mayu? New. Miu or Miu. Okay. Like a Japanese name. Miu. Okay.
Jeremiah.
Okay.
Jeremiah. Just call it
Jeremiah. This one. Okay. Jeremiah. This one. Ahmad. Is the this one?
Yes.
Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman. Okay.
Can I ask something?
Yeah. You're sweet. Oh, probably. You take. Did you see the registration guide?
My registration is changed to the new.
Yes, and then you go to the new one because I sent this one on Saturday and
I'm not in the class.
no. Thank you so much. Okay. They changed it before after I sent this email. Okay. Abdurrahman. Okay. Renew Zaya. Renew. Arom. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this one Mongolia, I think. Not Mongolia? Oh, sorry. Because I see long one, I think it's Mongolia. Dehay. Denotion.
Yeah, you can call me Nada.
Denotion. What?
Nada.
That's also difficult. Oh, nada. This one. Okay, nada. Okay, that's easier. Nada. Where is this? Oh, this one. Okay, nada. Okay. Oh, this one is Sam. This one. Is this one Sam?
Yeah.
Okay. We have two. How can I differentiate you guys? Abdurrahman. This one? Oh, I can recognize. You are the tallest. Samuel, that's the easy one. I had a nice Samuel in my last vlog. So, okay. This one is difficult. Ponchanon. Pawan. Okay. Qijun. Okay, it's Chinese. Let me mark there's one there. This one. Let me say absent. Okay, I will do later. Okay, later on, let's grab the paper. Then you can fold, put it there because at least today I couldn't remember your names. Okay, except the one I know before. Now let's take a look at our first lecture. Just enjoy and sit there and laughing. Okay, and if you already know, take a rest. Today is easy. You know we are in Maharishi school, right? So we have to go over those things. Honest statement. In this lecture, we are going to introduce the basic technologies to make up the internet. The World Wide Web and the HTML. Mostly it's about HTML, and we're going to cover a little bit about the internet, like the IP address, TCP, those things. Okay. We will see many technology are built on top of each other. People probably are familiar with the network. You all know the IP on top of IP. We're gonna have TCP. Those. Life is also found in layers, and TM technique give us access to the full range of our awareness and thoughts. So the internet, what is internet? We can think as a connection of computers and using the IP address, okay? And all the protocols, IP is a protocol. All the protocols are found in layers, like on top of the IP. We will cover, we're gonna have a TCP or UDP, and on top of we're gonna have HTTP and others. For this course, we probably will only care about IP, TCP, and HTTP or HTTPS, okay? But eventually, actually, you don't need to understand them because we don't directly deal with TCP or IP. That's the network course should teach you. And the IP address is for addressing. Addressing is like how can I find another computer or server of the network, right? We have to have an address, like how the mailman deliver the mails to us, right? We have to have an address. But the IP address do have the lots of problems. The problems is like a IP address, it cannot guarantee when I want to send a package to you, it's different from like Amazon do the shipping, it will give a package as a whole, right? When we send the package of the network, it may slice your package in different chunks. Then on the destination, it's gonna form as the original one, right? So for all the chunks sent over the network, we cannot guarantee every chunk can be sent from a client, from a sender to the server, to the destination. So you might have a package lost, right? You may have a duplicate packages. And also, when each piece from the sender side to the destination, they must arrive, go to destination, they have to form as a whole, right? It must have the order. How can I form the, how can I form each chunk, okay? Or assemble each chunk to be the original one? You have to have a sequence, right? But IP address cannot guarantee the sequence, okay? And also IP address cannot guarantee the packages you send over network cannot be corrupted. Someone might alter the, the chunk package information, and the IP address cannot find out. So it has lots of problems. That's why we have TCP. TCP will solve all the problems which IP address have. And another thing TCP add is what? It's called the multiplexing. You heard about something called a port number, right? Port number, that's the power which TCP give us, because IP address can only identify one computer. And if without TCP, that means on one server, you can only install one software, one server. Like suppose I want to install for email sender in one laptop, then you cannot start another website. Okay, but with TCP, he added the multiplexing, which added a port number for us. So on one server, you can have many servers started. Okay, services started also. That's the thing which TCP did. Basically, is solve the problem on IP and also add a multiplexing. That's the most powerful thing which TCP gave us. Okay, and HTTP is talk on will be used on top of TCP, which is for request and response, which is a client server, okay, when we do a website. And for others, we don't introduce, okay. And we just give a brief introduction on them. And if interesting, you can go to D course. D course has a network course, okay. When you don't have any course to select, you can select that one. Not very interesting. My personal experience, I don't like network, okay. That's probably for male, you know. You guys like it, okay. And here has another very shallow question about what's the difference between internet and the World Wide Web. Like internet contains everything. It can have the chatting, email, online games, lots, right? Files like FTP, like send the files. Okay, but World Wide Web only talk about all the websites around the world. Next one. We are going to deal with URL quite a lot. like for the URL, basically you're gonna have the protocol. For this part, we're gonna have either HTTP or HTTPS, right? HTTPS just add a secure layer where your information transfer over the network is gonna have to do the encryption for you. HTTP just a plain text, so it's not safe to use HTTP. We are going to have a host, and some people you will see later gonna have like a local host, like have a port number, like something. This is gonna become your IP address. This is gonna become port number, and this is the domain DNS, right? Because we remember the IP address is not easy to remember, so we use DNS. And here is a path to the information. Okay, and what's going to happen when I type this URL in the browser bar, then hit the enter? What's going to happen is first, the browser will ask a DNS server for the IP address, because it's gonna have a global, like you can think as a map, okay, stored in your internet service provider. And when you ask for the DNS, it will ask for the IP address, because IP address is uniquely to identify that server, okay. And then it will connect that IP address with a port number. Here, I do not write any port number, right? By default, HTTP by default is 80, that's a reserved. Like if we use HTTPS, by default, it's gonna be 443, okay? That's very common, okay? And they are reserved. And after you connect, it will ask a server to give to you the HTML. If they find, then you're gonna send it back to the server client side, and the browser will render the page. Very simple, like way to describe what's gonna happen. We're going to have URL more when we talk about REST. Here, just a basic introduction, okay? More advanced URL. The anchor, you're gonna see, you are actually probably see a lot, which is like this. This one, hash. And when this anchor nowadays is used to jump to a given section of a web page, what's going to happen? Let me give an example to you guys. For the first, before the midterm exam, okay, when you see this icon, and that actually is, you click on it, it's going to go to JS Fiddle, and that's gonna become an example of the example, okay. And this one not very good, because that's what I meant. See here, I have a href, here have an anchor tag, right? And we'll talk about later about A. Whenever you click, this one is a link, okay? And it, by default behavior, it's going to browser can tend to open another request to the URL you put it in the href. But since here we are using a hash, what's gonna happen? You take a look at the scroll bar here, okay? Do you see the change? It's not very clear, right? Let's give another one, okay? Oh, I don't like the Microsoft IE, okay? I use this one. Okay. Does this one do? Let me take a look at, okay. Oh, this one is not what I want. Okay. I forgot last time what I gave. Oh, this one. Okay, guys, take a look at this one. This is my URL, right? Okay. Now I'm on this page, and this is my navigation bar. Okay, let's take a look at when I click one, take a look at change here, and also the center part, what's gonna happen. Do you see the change? Yes. And what happened is it has this thing added here, right? And also on the center part, kind of like right side, it's gonna scroll, it automatically scroll to that place, right? So that is see here, that is the anchor doing. When we have a hash, it will jump to the given section of a web page. Even though here you see the content changed on the center part, actually when I make a call, the first time I make a call to the website, the entire everything is already downloaded. And whenever I click here, let's inspect a little bit. See here, when I click this one, you will see here have Ahref and hash web. And when you click here, take a look at the content. This is actual content. It's gonna have ID here. See here, H2 ID is web. So that's how it happened. In the link there, you have a hash and give a name, and somewhere in the content, you have ID to be the same name. And whenever you click link, it's gonna jump to there. Okay, and that's one feature used very frequently for the anchor. And another feature, when you go to React, you're gonna learn, which is using the hash to do the navigation. Okay, it has several ways, to, 3 or 2 ways to do. And one way is using the hash to do the navigation in React. You will see in the feature. Okay, and also it was at the beginning of a single page application just came out, and this anchor is used to remember the history of the user clicked. Okay, nowadays it depends. Okay, depends which technique you use. Okay, next one, port number is the power which the TCP give us. For the web server on port, then the default 80. Okay, the 80 is the default one. Whenever we use HTTP, gonna use the port number is 80. Whenever you use HTTPS, we're gonna using like a 443. And people, if you ever use the live server, probably to host any HTML, by default, I remember it's a 5500 something. I will show you guys later. Another one which is used frequently, which is query string, and it's a set of parameters passed to a web program. Take a look here. Query string is after the question mark, you have a key value pair, okay, and separate with the ampersand. Okay, and on the server side, we will learn after we go to Node. Okay, we will depends on what kind of query you are doing, and we will learn how to grab the values on my server side to do some task. And here, let me show you one. Take a look at, now I'm going to here, Google, okay. Suppose we search JavaScript. Take a look, ignore all others. Take a look at here. It's going to do what? Google.com search, do you see this thing? Q, this is after this question mark, all are question. Do you see Q equals JavaScript? Okay, and this JavaScript is a word I typed. Suppose I type like a node JS. I do like this way. Do you see here? Q equals node plus JS. This one. And that is the Google. We're gonna do when I hit the enter. It will make a request to the Google. Google will have look at what's the based on this key. Q is the key. Okay, and how to get these values. Then it will show you the result for you. So far, we cannot do any task on this one because we haven't learned about server side. Okay. Now let's get into HTML. Sorry guys, I might keep switching from the show mode with the keep back and forth. Okay. HTML. HTML I use to describe the content, okay, content and the structure of the information on the page, content. So whenever you want to carry some content, use HTML on the page. But if you want to do the styles, don't do it. We will learn CSS later. And most of the HTMLs gonna have an opening tag and a closing tag. And when you have a content, you need to surround the content with opening tag and a closing tag. Each tag and its content is called an element, like this one. Together it's called element, no need to remember. And we call this one is a tag. This one is a paragraph tag, and this is paragraph tag, closing paragraph. This is opening and this is closing. And between them, that's our content. So we use opening tag, closing tag to surround the text content. Most of white space is insignificant in HTML, ignored or collapsed into a single one. Let me show you this one. I'm going to do is I will just keep the like this way because I have to keep a switch between the showing your demos. And for entire course, you only need to use one developer tool called Visual Studio Code. Okay, very powerful. I like it. Okay. And let me create another folder. And if you go to MW probably only use this one also. You can download all the demos online, and most of the time I probably will write demos for you from scratch. Okay. Here, let's create our first HTML. I will show you this feature. Most of white space is insignificant in HTML. Okay, what I wrote now is what? Is the source code, right? Suppose here is a hi. I will have some welcome to CS472. I will have lots of space here and have this one. So in my source code here, I have lots of line break, right? Kind of like multiple lines have space. And here I also have lots of breaks. Okay, white space here. But now when I open in browser, oh, I forgot to install that one. You can install a tool. Let's install a tool called Open in Browser. You can install this one. You can also install another one called the Live Server. Okay, this one, Live Server. Okay. You can see it's very popular. This one. Okay. Okay. Now click this one, click Live Server. If you don't know how to do it, you can ask me later, okay? And when you have Live Server, what's gonna happen is you right-click, you're gonna have this thing here. So it's gonna open a browser for you, okay? And host this one. The open browser is also fine. I don't like, I should set the default browser. But anyway, guys, can you see? When you see on the page, is it the same as my source code? Not the same as my source code, right? See here, on my source code, I have so many line break and I have lots of white space here, right? But when the browser trying to display our HTML, what happened? See, the line breaks between this comma and the welcome W is collapsed into one white space, right? And also between them, how many? I only have one. So that is this line talking about. Most of white space is insignificant, ignored or into a single space. Okay, that is talking about this one.
You say most white space, which means that there is some which is not collapsed.
Yeah, because it will leave one here. It will leave one. Okay, and here it's gonna leave one here. Okay, that means the rest is collapsed. Okay. The latest version of HTML is HTML5. Now let's take a look at HTML structure. First one, the structure HTML. First, you have to have this part. Okay, because when the server side send us HTML, the browser has to display the things for you, right? And we have so many versions there. How can a browser identify which version you are using? And this one is to identify it's HTML5 version. Let me show you HTML4. We can take a look at difference. Okay. Demo HTML4. Oh no, this one. Sorry. Let me see W3C school HTML4. This one has. Oh, this one is HTML5. Then I can search doc type question. Oh, this one. This is HTML4. Okay, you can see it's totally different from HTML5, right? So when if we want to write HTML5 code, make sure your doc type is this one. Okay. And if it's HTML4, it's gonna be like this one. This one is used for what? Used by the browser. How browser render your HTML? Okay, suppose you had some tags like a date or time. Those tags they are added in HTML5, but you are using doc type is HTML4. The browser want to recognize it or want to do anything on that. Okay. And in HTML, you're gonna have HTML. Okay, this is opening tag, this is closing tag. You are going to have a head. And in the head, you are going to have a title, keywords, description, and metadata. We'll talk about the metadata a little bit later. And in the body, you're gonna see whatever the content you want to display to the user, that's where you put it in the body, between the body part, okay? And HTML, the file is sent with the extension .html. This part, do you have question? Okay, very good. Metadata is the data about the data, information to describe the page itself, which information describe the current HTML. So you can use a character set. This is a one character set, UTF-8, which is include most of the characters, like Arabic, like a Chinese, Vietnam, probably all included. Okay. Otherwise, by default, it cannot only include for the ASCII, which is all the English letters, like Chinese and anyway, I know Chinese, okay, doesn't included. So when we write like a page which should display Chinese character, I have to make the character set to be a large, okay, character set. And for these three, these two is used for SEO. Basically, is used for what? By the search engine, because we want to have a higher, like a ranking on the Google or those search engines, right? So people will click our website. One place you can do for SEO is to make sure you have a description and keywords, and here have a content which describe well about what your website is doing. But that is not the only key factor to make your website to rank higher in those search engines. The best way is you pay. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good laugh. Thank you. Okay, so this is a description. And for the viewport, those are used nowadays. We want our browser, we want our website to be responsive, right? So we want to have one website, and this website is gonna be displayed well on the phone, on the tablet, on the laptop, the larger screens, right? But the problem is when we use a phone, sometimes the browser, the viewport is not the same as a device viewport, and this viewport and width equals device width, and this one means not the zoom. Okay, to make sure our viewport will match our device width. Okay, that is for responsive design, this part. And all the information is placed inside here. And when I copy, actually, you don't see any difference in where. Oh, already here, see here. If I put it here, you actually won't see any difference when I open in the browser. Okay, because that's not used for us. Okay, some is used for support responsive, some is used for what? Some is used for the SEO, which is for search engine. Okay, and this one is a character set. It's not what I see. Here is another other things you can also use a character set instead of metadata. But nowadays, when we specify character set, we use the metadata. You can also have a character set to set by yourself. Okay, like a name, which is this part. When you have a name, you can have the keywords, description, viewport. You can have others like author, application name, and others. Okay, and you can also give some content, which is similar to do the character set. Let me go back. This is kind of like a support for the IE. This one I'm not very familiar. Okay, and you can have these two are together. Okay, for the content type and others. Favorite icon. People you probably know. Favorite icon. This one is used for where? Can you see here? This one kind of have a coffee here. Okay, but take a look at these two. Doesn't have anything, right? And this one, can you see this logo here? This logo, that is a favorite icon. So now if I want to have a favorite icon, how to do it? You have a link, HIF, you give a icon there, okay, some image, and you give this one is the type of the image you choose, which describe this one, okay? And here we give shortcut icon. Let me download the one, okay? Suppose we go to MIU. Let me see if I can download. That's why I don't like to use Zoom. Can I download? Let me download this one. Copy. Let me download the image. Don't use this one. Okay, images. Let me use this one. Save image as. Okay. Oh, that is too. Yo, that's not an image. That's a video. This is this one. Copy image address. Let me see. Okay, wait a minute for a second. Oh, that's an image. Okay, that's a huge image. Same image. I will put in my in-class demos. I'll put this one. Fav icon. Okay. Then what you're gonna do is between the head, you add a link and href, and here we will talk about the relative URL later. Okay, and here we are in the same folder, right? We can just using you can do like this way, okay? And what others? Oh, what others? Type image GIF. Type, but here I'm using JPG, right? So I will use image JPG, okay? And show what others? Okay, REL. This REL is talking about relationship. What is the relationship? Relationship between this image here and with my current document, this HTML. Okay, so it's gonna be shortcut. It's all right. Let me see. Yes. Okay. So and after that, we will open in the browser again. You can open again. Can you see here? I have an image here. See this one? Okay, that is a favorite icon. Most of our website will have one. Okay, depends. Oh, here is a relative URL. It's very important, especially we do websites. Okay, you definitely gonna deal with the relative URL a lot of times. What is the difference between relative URL and absolute URL? Hang out there a little bit. Okay, after this one, we'll take a break. So relative URL doesn't have this. Let's talk about absolute URL. So whenever we start from the website, this gonna start from root. You can think on the server side gonna have a root. It always start with the root, okay? And this one is very clear, right? We say, okay, from C drive, we go to the folder website, we go to images, and we go to this PNG, right? And most of the time, I cannot say absolutely 100%, okay? You want to use absolute URL, put it here. What I mean is, we know where is my, I know here is actually this URL gonna be uniquely identified. On this laptop, I know this third icon is inside this folder, right? And let's see if it works. So, yeah, doesn't work. Probably I have some space here. Oh, see, okay, it should not work. Okay, the reason I put it on the port number here already. So here, when I let me show another way if it see if it will work. Okay. Can you see the difference? That take a look at here. How I display the two the same index HTML, but I use two ways. The first way I use, how can I make this thing go away? Click on screen. See here. I really hate this thing. Let me continue. The first way I open this index HTML, I threw this file itself, right? I threw the file itself. Now, when I threw the file itself, did I get the favorite icon? I got it, right? But the second way is what I threw. I threw here. the second one is, see here, I'm using Open Live Server. Then I open this one using this one. Do you see here? Is actually an URL, right? But now did I get this one? I didn't get it, right? The reason is because when we make it to be live server, which means you can think your HTML, your entire file, this one and this one is moved to another laptop. And he trying to start from there. And in another laptop, probably it's not a Windows, right? Probably in that server, we don't have user and this folder, you know? That's why we normally, when we want to, in the page, we want to reference like images, CSS, we don't use absolute URL because the server setup is not identical as your developer laptop. You got me? We will use relative URL. Where it is? Okay. And what is relative URL? Which is past relative? Don't start with the hard, like the root. You know, don't have the absolute thing. And this is relative, and this is also relative, which graphics gonna become what's thing, the folder, and you have the slash, which is the divide between folders and with the files. And when you have a two, which you're gonna do what? Two dot, go to parent. Okay, two dot means go to parent. See here, this gonna happen is about HTML gonna be go to a parent of current folder where you have the thing. I'll show you the demo. I'll show you later. Okay, and this two dot, which is go to parent once, go to parent again. Okay, then you go to the stories, and this one I have to show you. I'll show you in a minute. Okay. Now let's take a look at examples. I'll give you some examples. Okay. We will use what? We will use. Let's create some like resources. And let's go to have a user. Let's go user. And here inside the user, I have an images. Okay, and here I will download the image. Okay, download another one. Okay, that's a big byte. Okay. Save image as. Okay, I'll put it here. Okay, dog 2. Let me download another one, okay? Let me download another one. So let me download another cat, okay? So we can see the difference. Let me download another one. Save images. I will put under the users. This one seems not a good image. Okay, because I'm not familiar with the type. This one, save image. That one I'm familiar. Cat 1. Now let's do a demo, okay? We're going to learn another tag here before we move on, which is called the image. On display on image, okay? Use image tag. It's going to have src, okay? And in the src, between the quotes here, you have to give a relative URL. And now, if I want to get this dog, how would I do? I want to get this dog2.jpg. My current folder is where? My current folder. What is the current folder? Take a look at where is your index.html located. My index.html is located in class demos. Oh, I should use day one. Okay, in class demos, right? So this one is here, and there's another. This dot represents your current folder. Okay, dot will represent you are in index.html, and then if I slash, I will go where? I can go to resources and go to resources, go to users, right? So what you can do is using dot representing current folder, which is in class demos, but I want to get this dog2, right? So from here, you are already in class demos. Resources is on the in class demos, right? So I will do like this way, go to resources, and then I'll go to user, I'll go to images. You got me? And then I'll refer to dog2. Okay, now we go and live server. You have a dog too. That's a big, huge dog. Okay. Let me add a width and height here. We'll learn those later. It's smaller, right? I can do. You can do percentage. Okay. But now let me change. Okay. Let me change this one. Suppose here in the images. Okay. Let's add one more. Let me do here. Just for demo purpose, okay. I have HTML5 here. Now my task is I have two. Let me show you two, okay. Let me have three. How about? The first one, I want you guys. Let me add this like this, okay. So it won't be large, okay. Okay. Currently, my user.html is under the user, right? The first one, let's go easy. I want to display the cat1.jpg. The first one, I want to display cat1.jpg. How to do it? You can using dot representing current folder slash I have a cat1.jpg, right? You can also do like this way. Okay. Because cat1 and user.jpg is in the same folder, right? You don't need to have a dot slash. And I will show you another error. You can leave this entire. No, don't write it. No need to write entire them. Okay. That is the first one. Second one, I want to display dog2.jpg. This one. Dot slash images, then go there, right? Because currently I'm on user, right? User is already on user HTML is already on the user folder. So I go inside images, go to dog2.jpg. Okay. And the last one, I want to show favorite icon.jpg. So my favorite icon is here, okay, and the user HTML is under the user resources, and I want to get this one. How to do? Dot slash, right? Because one pair of dot will go where? You will go to resources, right? And we have to go where? We have to go to in-class demos in order to get a favorite icon. So we need to have a two dot. Do you get this one? Because when I have, you don't know. Let me draw for you guys, okay? Let me see if I have this one. I have this one. I have to go slow because some students, they are shy to ask, okay? So let's go slower a little bit. Let's go. Okay, what's gonna happen? Let me make our folder first. Okay, here in class demos, this is one folder, right? In class demos, I have what? I have called resources, right? Then I have another folder called users, right? User. And here I have what's thing? User.html, right? And then in class demos, I have what? I have a favorite icon. .jpg, right? Now I want to have an image tag src, which is in this user.html. I have an image tag. I want to display this JPG, right? Take a look at my user.html. When I use a dot slash represent user, right? But I have to go to if I using dot, it means go to my parent. But this dot will go where? From user go to resources. But the favorite icon is not in resources, right? It's inside the in-class demos. So I have to go back to parent again, right? So you use another two dot. Two dot will goes to the in-class demos. Then I can use a slash, go to favorite icon. Do you guys get it? Okay, because when I use a 2 dot, it's gonna go to resources, and then 2 dot go here, then go inside. Very important again. You're gonna, when you have some issues in the future, probably you can use these issues. Okay, 1 dot represent a current folder. 2 dot means parent. Okay. Let's go. Let me finish this part of it. 2 dot, then go to what's thing? Favorite icon. Now we can open this one in the browser. You have all of them, right? Here also has 1. Let's take a look at. There's another critical one, which is this one. This one. Take a look at it. I have a leading slash here, right? Let's take a look at it. Okay. Now I will make a change on this one. Okay. When I have a cat without a slash, dot slash, or with dot slash, it's all correct, right? But now I will do like this way. I just see the difference. Here have a dot slash, here then have both, here have only 1 slash. Okay. Now let's take a look at, let me add a ruler here. Okay. Hey, do you see this thing? Does it find the URL image? Didn't find an image, right? The reason is because when we have a slash, it's a root relative. What is root relative? This one, it should, let me see if it's inside the, let me see if it's this one. Okay, wait a minute for a second. Let me do a test. Okay, because I'm not using my own server. We are using the live server, so I'm not sure what's the root it's talking about.
So here it is in class.
No, not in class demos. It should be something here. Okay, this is already a path. Okay, it should be. I don't know how to access this one. Probably the current webmaster. Let me do a test. Okay, guys, let me do a test. Let me put. Let me add another one. Let me do one more. Okay. Save image. Okay. Root is this one. Can you see here? What had happened? Now let me show you here. Okay. I will use this one. What just happened? We are using live server, right? Live server gonna open a URL. What's the URL? What's the URL to use? This is type. I want to copy the URL. Yeah. Let me write it. It's a HTTP. Localhost and 5500. Then what we do is in class demos, right? In class demos, and then slash resources. Okay, I just do the remaining. Okay, so here in our slides, it's talking about it's gonna be root relative, right? What is root relative? Root is talking about till here. So after that, all others are folders. So this part is our root. And where is our in-class demos? In-class demos, I put, see here, this is my in-class demos. In-class demos, let me go to the folder, show you, okay. See here. This is my in-class demos, right? In-class demos is on WAP master. And my root is here, you understand me? So whenever I using slash cat1.jpg, he is looking for what? He is looking for under the webmaster, do I have a cat1.jpg? That is a root. Clear? Okay, that's why I didn't find. Okay, so you have to make sure you understand that this one, they're different. Okay, with a slash and without a slash here, they're totally different. With slash is a root. Without it means relative to current. Any more question on this one? If no more question, let's have a 10 minutes break. Okay. Yes.
Earlier when you told us that there should be an element, content, then element, opening tab and closing tab.
Oh, this one I don't have, right? We will have demos. This one is called the void element. Some of the HTML tags, they don't have the closing. Okay, this one is one, this one is one, and just now we have a link that you want. Okay, we will talk about it. Don't worry. Okay, this one don't have. They do have some don't have the closing tag. Okay, okay, that's a good to find out. I have to.